Hey there, so I'm not sure if this is going to be one part or two, but this is basically just some personal fave films of mine, some that I have not mentioned a lot, but ones that I actually like in the video before. I say they eat away at my time because I end up watching them a lot, or end up having to buy like multiple copies because one wears out, seriously. And first one is the original My Bloody Valentine, special edition of this. I've been waiting for years to get this movie. It was made actually in Nova Scotia, which isn't that far from me, by George Mahalkai, and it has music by Paul Zaza. If you're a Canadian, then you probably know who Paul Zaza is as a musician was. There's some really good stuff on here. There's some great acting. Bloodlust, My Bloody Valentine, and the Rise of the Slasher Films. That's pretty cool. Bloodlines, an interactive horror film history. That's awesome, actually. Deleted footage with director, cast, and special effects designer introduction. Like, yeah, because you can watch the deleted footage together, like put into the film. It's like not as good quality as the actual stuff. It was like, it was snipped out and stuff. But it's definitely worth watching it with the deleted kill scenes. This is a really cool film. Nice little murder mystery to it. Very creepy ending. Left itself open, actually, and just like the sequel does. This is, I like the sequel, no, the remake, but this is much, much better. I mean, you can't even really compare the two, and well, you can, but here's, it looks it's a very cool look. So remaking this one was a no-brainer, but trying to do it better, not so easy. My Bloody Valentine is basically a film about 20 years ago. There's this big tragedy. I'm sure you've seen this, or at least you've seen the remake, and it's very similar. Who the killer is, it's different though. And basically a guy kills a bunch of people, and 20 years later it looks like they're finally going to have Valentine's Day dance again, something they haven't had in years. The whole holiday has pretty much been cancelled, and murder started happening again. And it's really cool. Highly, highly recommend. If you're a fan of slasher movies, My Bloody Valentine, Prowler, The Burning are three of my favorites of all time. And they all belong right next to each other. That's like actually knowing how to do a slasher movie right. Characterization is good, the acting is good, the writing's good, the atmosphere is so rich. And in this film, I mean, like in such a small place like Nova Scotia, it's not exactly the place where you picture like such a creepy slasher film going on, but they do a great job with it, and they really take advantage of the locality and the fact that it is a mining town. So highly recommend it. It's a favorite of mine. I do go back and watch this over and over again. I'm sure I've got like 2 or 3 copies of this one at one point or another. This was my only one that I have now. I did have the one before when they didn't have the what do you call it? They didn't have the extra scenes and stuff. And I got the Blu-ray 3D version of the remake and the DVD version of the remake as well, the 3D. And this is just probably one of my favorite films of all time. It's not horror. It's just, I could actually relate to this movie way too much. Clerks, and of course X. Gotta have the collector's series edition here. It's a 3-disc edition, and basically the theatrical version of it here. And there's a bunch of features. If you've seen this, there's a 1995 commentary featuring Kevin, Moss, Muse, Brian, and others. Clerks, The Last Scene, and we know, what that is now. Flying Car, MTV spots with Jane Silent Bob, theatrical trailer, music video. Clerks Restoration introduction, original Clerks auditions. I mean, I haven't watched all the stuff on this, but I keep watching this movie over and over again. The second disc is Clerks The First Cut, again with an all-new audio and video commentary with all the guys there. And the third disc, Snowball Effect, Story of Clerks. It's a documentary. There's a bunch of features on here. Honestly, if you haven't had or seen Clerks, you really should. I mean, you can go and grab any edition you want if you can't find this one. I do recommend getting this one. I'll open it up for you so you can see what it looks like. It is missing two of the discs, actually. For some reason it's missing two of the discs. So, which may mean Aaron buys another version of Clerks very, very soon down the road. I'm not happy about that, actually. I watched this so many times, maybe I just put it in another disc thing, but I gotta find the other disc for them there. Favorite, it's a cheesy favorite, yeah. And this is not the greatest film in the world, but I just think it's fun. I really do. Piranha 2, The Spawning. It's basically piranhas that can fly. It's really, really cheesy. Trish O'Neill is in this. Lance Henriksen earlier role for him, and James Cameron is cited as director of this film, but I think that he pretty much directed just a bit of it and walked off, and then somebody else directed a lot of it. It's not something that he's proud of, but honestly, it's a fun film. I mean, think about it. You got little piranhas with wings. There's a cool smorch, like a scene where they're basically it flies out of a dead body. It's just really cool. I mean, it's a fun film. You know, you're not going in expecting a Shakespeare with any of this stuff. It's a horror film, and it's a damn good one. So, for what it is, check it out. The next one is one I got. It's an import I got from England, and there's a series of these. I've got the first one, and I want to get the rest. I definitely am going to get the rest down the road. It's by Nucleus Films, and that's Grindhouse Trailer Classics. I do watch this one quite a bit. This one does have a sort of like a bonus featurette with Emily Booth. Emily Booth is a famous horror figure in England. There's a lot of cool stuff on this. You know, House of Whipcord, also She Wolf the SS, Eyeball, Bury Me an Angel. There's a crap load of trailers. 55 great movie trailers, and they are cool. I found movies that I wanted to buy, like by watching these trailer tapes. And this Grindhouse one, here's the cover of the DVD thing of it. It's pretty fun, brutal stuff. It's one of my faves. Grindhouse, Nucleus Films does some great stuff, and Grindhouse Trailer Classics is definitely one to pick up. Here's one that I have a couple of copies of, so this copy actually isn't even opened. And that is because I've gone through, I don't know how many copies I was watching it. From Dusk to Dawn. Love this film. This is the edition. This is the special collector's series edition. So Full Toot Boogie, the awesome full-length documentary feature film, is on here as well. There are some great featurettes, but the Full Toot Boogie is the real reason to own this edition. It is a really, really extremely good full feature-length documentary about the making of the film and some of the problems that they had during it, and it's really cool. Of course, everybody knows from Dusk to Dawn, Robert Rodriguez film. Stars Harvey Keitel, George Clooney, Tarantino, Juliette Lewis, Cheech Marin's in this very interesting thing. Fred Williamson, Selma Hayek, and of course we've got Tom Savini. There's a Sex Pistol. It's a great vampire flick. It just has some wonderful special effects, and the story is based. It's incredible, and it moves so fast, and it has a bit to say on in a way, on the loss of faith with Harvey Keitel's character. But again, this is an amazing film. Seriously, Robert Rodriguez did a great job with this one. He had Tarantino working with him, and you can tell, I mean, in front of the camera, and you know, Tarantino definitely had some stuff, wrote some lines there, that's for sure. And I love that one. My next one is another big fave of mine, and that's The Maltese Falcon. I love this film, and I love this edition in particular, and the reason is because it has the two other versions of The Maltese Falcon on there. The 1931 version with B.B. Daniels and Ricardo Cortez, who's also known for being an earlier version of Perry Mason. And Satan Met a Lady, Betty Davis and Warren Williams there. There's like trailers for both the films. There's a documentary, The Maltese Falcon on Magnificent Bird. Of course, there's the Robert Osborne host Becoming Attractions, the trailers of Humphrey Bogart. I'm a big TCM fan, so anything that Robert Osborne's on, I'm really there to watch it. Breakdowns of 1941, studio blooper reel, makeup test, audio-only bonus, 3 radio show adaptations, including two with the movie's original stars, and a third one with Edward G. Robinson. But you know what, I haven't listened to, but that sounds like a really good listen. This is a 3-disc set, just to show you what it looks like. There's the Maltese Falcon, the original one, with of course, there's the Warner Net, the movies. So you're going to get the cartoons on there. Going to have a commentary. Eric Lax does the commentary in this one. There's going to have trailers, and the Warner Net, the movies is always good. It's always fun. A lot of the film noir and the gangster sets always have those. And this is the other 2 discs, the Maltese Falcon and Satan Met a Lady, plus bonus features. And we'll open it up so you can see. I picked this one up for fairly cheap, but a year ago at my local chapters, and Maltese Falcon. And I say I've been lucky to pick up some really great stuff. And I'm thinking I'm going to cut it off there, and I'm going to do a second video, because I got a bunch more here that I want to show you, and a little bummed that I can't find those other 2 Clerks DVDs. I know that they were in the set, but they got taken out and put in a case, and then the DVDs were put back later on when we moved to the into their DVD things. But yeah, well, what do? You buy another one. Thanks for watching. It's time for tea, and as soon as this one uploads, so I'm going to do the second part to it. Hope you watch that one, and there's some really cool stuff coming up. So there's some horror coming up, just in case you're wondering if I just forgot the horror. I haven't. I'm still a big fan.